at what we found. It's a big sound in a small town. Far from the bright lights, they're making music every night. Hear what is all around. It's a big sound in a small town. It's a big sound in a small town. It's a big sound in a small town.
Hi, welcome to Season 4 of Big Sound Small Town. I'm your host, Sandy Carlton. Join me as musicians tell their stories about how they became musicians and the stories along the way.
A dreamer, oh, and that ain't gonna change. You try to knock me down, but it only fueled my flame. Go with the punches till I break down the walls. I don't want some of it, I want it all. I won't settle, won't be bound by no rules. My mama damn sure didn't raise no fool. Won't stop believing till victory comes. No, I don't want some of it, I want it all. It's all or nothing, and nothing don't work. Bring on the pain, no matter how bad it hurts. Can nothing hold me back. Ain't nobody that strong. I don't want some of it, I want it all. It's all or nothing, and nothing don't work. Bring on the pain, no matter how bad it hurts. Can nothing hold me back, ain't nobody that strong. I don't want some of it, I want it all. Not just a chaser, I'ma pull the stars down. My feet are planted, never give up ground. There'll be no surrender, no dropping the ball. I don't want some of it, I want it all. I don't want some of it, I want it all.
Hey guys, I'm Lee Newton. I'm a singer-songwriter from Canton, North Carolina. Live here in Shelby, North Carolina now. Getting ready to do a podcast with Sandy here at Big Sound Small Town, and we're just going to have a great time.
Well, that's a pretty good introduction, Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to come out. So what's the latest news with you?
Oh, wow. Been doing a lot of shows, bringing in the new year, getting ready for the new album.
You got a new project coming out?
Yes, I got a new album that'll be coming out probably in spring, but the first single will drop this month, January the 22nd, called All That's Left. The album's called Unleashed. And I'm coming off the first album called Undamaged. So,
okay.
And Undamaged actually won EP Album of the Year at the JMA Awards this past year.
So it was an EP.
Yeah, it was an EP.
Yeah. Which, for people that don't know, is a shorter LP is a longer version. It's probably five songs.
Well, this
six
one
songs.
had 4 songs.
4 songs. That
This
works.
new album I'm making up for it will have 13 songs.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's a lot. That is a
So
lot.
it's a full length album. I'm
Sure.
so excited about. There's going to be lots of surprises. Several different well known musicians
Right.
and artists that'll be on this album with me.
And where did you do this album at?
I did it in Nashville at Omni Studios. My producer, Bill McDermott, he's super awesome. He's produced Tim McGraw and George Strait, Emmylou Harris, some really amazing artists. And Omni Studios just has that beautiful sound. Like, it's just, the acoustics in there are just amazing. But that's where I had recorded my first EP at.
Same place
Same
place you did.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Now-
excited to go back to the same one.
Well, if you like what you did the first time around, that's a pretty good choice, you know. Because a lot of times that's not always the case. And also sometimes it's hard to track down producers again when they work for you. I mean, you want to work with them, but, you know, they're working with someone else. So
Exactly.
sometimes that's the, hold up with that
And
too.
one good thing with my producer, he has been so amazing. Like, he's like, you're the only one that I come in on the weekends for. So
Right. Well, now, are these songs you've written?
they are. I wrote I'm doing one cover. I've got 2 songs that I'm doing with 2 other songwriters. One will be Ronnie McDowell and Steve Shepard song that they wrote. I'll be adding it to the album, and also a Tommy Barnes song that he wrote. He's a phenomenal songwriter. I think he wrote Indian Outlaw for Tim McGraw.
Yeah, I think he
and then
did.
the rest of them, I've wrote a few of them that I did co-write with Dale Houston, who is another amazing country artist in Nashville. So excited about this album. A lot of songs that I can't wait for everybody to hear.
Are you going to press CDs?
Of course. And on this one, I think that I'm even going to do vinyl. I've been
really?
wanting to. I know. I've had so many people ask me to do vinyl.
Vinyl is good.
I really love the whole vinyl thing. So
You might one of the questions these days I get from young artists is, no, are you kidding? You don't really believe we put out CDs, do you? And I say, why? He said, anybody my age that has a CD player? No one does. It's all media.
Well, and it's crazy. I did notice that, because I've got another batch of my last EP coming in, because so they sold out.
Right.
But it was funny because a lot of these cars, they don't have
They don't
CD
have CD
players
players.
anymore.
No, they do not. I mean, that's almost a special order on a car these days.
I know, because I was with my friend, and she, I'm like, "Are you going to play my CD?" And she was like,
Well,
I don't have a CD player.
I know. I mean, merchandise is really, really the lifeblood these days of musicians. One of the things I tell people is find you the best T-shirt producer who is artistic and can give you something that's not a black and white T-shirt with your name on it.
Exactly.
Something people want to buy, because now that's almost as important as the music you're making.
It most definitely is.
That's a big part of your income. And then the other thing is the choice of how many to print of anything these days, since it is a different media
It
for
is.
listening.
And a lot of people that I've noticed do a lot of pre-orders.
Yeah, and pre-orders is a pretty good way to go, so that way you can kind of know what. And if someone's pre-ordering, they have a CD player.
Exactly. They pre-order that. They can pre-order the shirt.
Sure.
I've actually got amazing guys in Nashville that are working on shirts right now
Sure.
to get the mock-up for it. But when you do your live shows, you can't really do a pre-order because people want merchandise
exactly.
right then.
And the thing is, a lot of times people who come to concerts do have CD players or do have new record players that are, have the vinyl.
Exactly. What I did notice a few weeks back, I was telling you that I'd sang with Edwin McCain at the Don Gibson Theater here in Shelby, and he didn't have CDs out. He had these digital. They looked almost like a real thick plastic guitar pick almost, but and it was really cool. It had his picture on it, but it was a download, his whole album.
Download. Yeah.
But you just buy that instead of a CD.
Sure, because people don't have it, and then on those they can slip it into.
Yeah.
It's like a hard drive. They just stick it into the hard drive. So
so it's super neat. Like
it's changed. The great thing about vinyl that is not on anything else is the liner notes. That used to be the best part of records. You could find out who played on it.
Exactly.
You could see pictures of the recording or pictures of artwork. Some of them were artwork that you could hang on the wall.
Exactly. I want to do the vinyl. I want to do a lot of stuff different inside and have some extra special stuff and just make it really special for everybody.
Make it different than getting some. If you do the vinyl, you get stuff you don't get from the
CD.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
Of course, and a lot of people, of course, want to have it to add to their collection.
Sure, they
do. Want it signed. So most definitely, like I said, I'd run out of the other ones. I was like, well, I know the new album will be coming. I better get another batch in.
Sure.
So I'm super excited about having those to be able to sell to people.
Sure.
But yeah, the shirts are going to be amazing. And actually doing tank tops for the girls this year.
That's
so
good.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be good. Well, yeah, and I think too, unlike in the past, merchandise specifically for females is actually a part of it these days, where it used to be you get small T-shirts, and that's what you would get.
Exactly. You would just get like a small and try to make it.
Try to shrink it so it would come down the fit. I mean, but that's changed.
It really has, and you got your women's cuts.
Sure, and I mean, you have to have that because it's part of your audience. That in the past it didn't matter because you were selling a whole bunch of records and. Okay, girls, you're just stuck with this because it's the way it is.
Exactly.
But now that it's such a big part of it, then you've tailored it for your audience a little bit.
Well, and I've learned this and been told this, but I've seen a lot of people where they had 10 different variations of different stuff to buy.
Oh yeah.
And you have somebody that's got 2 or 3.
True.
I mean, people just don't like a lot of options. They they
You're
like
right.
some.
You got to find the right one.
You do.
You do.
You do.
I saw Tedeschi trucks, and they must have had 25. Of course they got 25 people in their band too. So
exactly. I love Susan. Oh my gosh, I used to sing her.
Oh
my God, she is like one of my idols, Susan Tedeschi.
She's one of my idols. I mean, her and Derek are just amazing. Their band is amazing. But yeah, they had, it was like, oh God, I want that one and I don't have enough money in that one.
And it's hard, but it is hard to narrow it down to those because you want to give your audience a big variety.
No, you do, but you got to find it. You got to also make money.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
Exactly.
I have to eat.
Exactly.
So I mean,
I got to buy some ramen noodles.
Exactly. Or if you're like the Eagles were. Well, I have to have my Laker tickets. So,
Exactly.
I mean, it's all relative, I guess. For me, I have to be able to buy Sundrop. The Eagles, they worry about getting front row Laker tickets. So,
oh my gosh.
So I don't know. So where did you get your start with music? How did that happen?
Wow. Well, when I was a little girl, of course, I sang in church. I think like everybody started singing in church,
Sure.
but my dad was a cab driver, and that's the only time I really ever got to see him because he worked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day.
Sure.
And so, especially during the summer months, I would go and ride around with him, and he was from a family of 10, and every one of them played guitar, banjo, mandolin.
So they all played.
And I remember being down there with them, and actually we would sit out on the front steps of the cab stand when I was 7.
Right.
And I start picking up the guitar, clanking around on it, and he started teaching me 3 chords in the groove,
Exactly.
But my first cassette was Patsy Cline, and then of course Hank Sr., Red Savine. Sure. That's who I grew up first listening to. But he always said, and my first name's Brenda, so he named me Brenda Lee.
Oh,
I know. Okay. It was destiny.
Obviously.
So I mean, my dad was the one who instilled music in me, and just he gave me something that I will have with me for the rest of my life, and I still have a passion for. And I lost him when I was 11. He had a massive heart attack and passed away. And from that moment on, like, I've always felt my dad being so close to me.
Right.
Every place I play, like, and I still have him in my ear. You're going to be on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry one day. I'm going to be in the front row. And I always tell everybody I speak it into existence. I haven't made it there yet, but I will.
Yeah, there you go.
One day it will happen. And I'll be able to say, hey, Dad, I made it.
Yeah.
But most definitely my dad is the main reason
responsible for the fact that you're a musician.
Exactly. And then of course it was Lori Morgan and the Judds and all those greats. And then of course throughout life I delved out into the blues, Susan Tedeschi, and then I love a lot of the Southern rock.
When did you start playing in bands at an early age, or was that something later in your life?
Yeah, in high school I got chose to sing a couple songs with just me with the band.
Right.
I'd audition and stuff. It was the first time I had ever been on a stage.
Like with the school band?
No,
oh.
a band.
Oh, a band.
A band.
Okay.
Yes.
All
and actually, it was so funny because the Sharkadelics.
Yes,
Ricky
I
Hayter.
do. Yeah.
Well, their first drummer, Ryan Ammons, he was a couple years older than me, but he's the one that played in the band.
Oh, okay.
Steve Nanny had played in a band as well, Sonoma Road. Randy Mason, he had played, I think he went and played with different bands too.
Right.
But it was funny, I got a recording of me in 10th grade singing my first song.
Oh, that's cool.
But from that moment on, I was like, that's it.
I
got that rush, and I just loved performing and being on stage. Now, I didn't get in my first band till probably I was in my mid-20s.
Okay.
And I fronted the first band that I had ever got in. It was a cover band.
Right.
Did a little bit of everything.
Sure.
And played the circuit, for years.
Right.
During those years, I got to go and sing with 3 original members of Skynyrd, in
that's
New York.
good.
So that was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That is
to get
really
to do
cool.
that, I did 2 shows with them and met, some of the guys from. We went to Nashville and met Jimmy Hall from Wet Willie.
Yeah, I love Jimmy.
Oh God, Jimmy is amazing.
He is. He's an amazing singer and an amazing harmonica
player. Oh,
he is.
And his voice over time just got so
I
much
think
more
it's as good as
bluesy.
this ever been. You know,
it's the
I
best.
just saw him playing with Blackberry Smoke and doing a Wet Willie song, and I swear it was better than the original.
Yeah, he did. They did it was almost like the best cover band you could ever think of.
Right.
It had like Artemis Paul from Skinner, it had Robert Nix from Atlanta Rhythm Section, Jimmy Hall.
Yeah.
All these. Al McCormick and just amazing musicians. They called it Deep South. This has been several years ago, but they did all of their best cover songs.
Yeah.
So my favorite was when he done Keep on Smiling.
Yeah, Keep on Smiling. Great song.
If you hadn't heard that version, you'll have to get on there and listen to Deep South. It's amazing.
I saw him with Blackberry Smoke doing it, and that was pretty amazing. And I saw him do it live with the old Wet Willie. So I mean, he's pretty special.
Yeah, he's
really also underrated and someone no one knows about.
Exactly. And now, of course, he plays with Hank. You see him playing harmonica and I'm like, he is so amazing.
He's amazing. Yes, he is.
Amazing artist. And there are a lot of them like that.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, Jimmy had his kind of 15 minutes of fame, but he deserves to be a bigger star than what he is.
Well, another one, and this is going to a different genre, and she's actually going to be on my album singing with me on one of the songs that I'm doing, but Leona Williams.
Yeah.
Leona Williams.
She fell through the Williams cracks.
She did. And she is like literally... in my opinion, like her voice, she just gives me goosies every single time that I hear her songs. Like, she's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, she is one of the ones that you miss, and it is because she fell through the family cracks. I mean, that's a large music family, and some get more fame and notoriety than the others do.
But there's just a lot. Like I said, but Leona, she's most definitely. I'm honored that she has agreed to be on this album with me.
Cool.
And another one, Pam Tellis. I'm so
Yeah,
excited that she'll be singing with me as well. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm pretty excited about that one
I'm
too.
I'm sure you
This
are.
little Canton girl, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully my dad's shining down, being like, "I'm proud of you,
Yeah,
girl."
that's really good. That's really good. So at some point, you decided that you were going to write your own music.
Yes, of course, took several breaks
Right.
throughout life.
Sure, you have to do some of that.
Yeah, and you know, and I think it, as a songwriter, to me, for my personal thing, I always knew that I had a lot to say because I've lived. You know, I've had a
Right.
really hard life growing up. You know,
Right.
being a cab driver's daughter, we grew up pretty
Yeah.
bad and pretty poor, and rough
Sure.
growing up, and you know, even in adulthood year, I've lived and learned, and a lot of experiences. And I know up until just a few years ago, you know, coming out of a really bad relationship,
Yeah.
I really just dove head straight into my writing, and
Right. Well, yeah. Misery makes great songs. You know.
I'm telling you, I have amazing songs.
Happy people do not write good songs.
Tell me about it. It's hard. It's hard to write those songs, especially because if you're in that moment, those songs really kind of
Well,
help
actually,
you.
oh yeah, those songs do. When you're happy, you don't have anything to write about because you're too busy being happy.
Yeah,
You know?
and it's crazy because I'm probably the most happiest I've ever been in my life, and but I still find myself feeling all of those other feelings
Sure.
through the life, and that's where I pull from. So some of my songs, you know, are kind
Right.
of really sad, but I'm like, you know, I'm not sad at all.
Right.
You know, but I feel.
But you have that pull to pull from.
I do
Because you have been unhappy.
I have.
You know.
And, you know, sometimes those songs, you know, they just come to me, and I'm like, well,
Right.
I better write it down.
You know, I have been accused in my life of causing myself problems so I'll have something to write about. I don't really believe that's true, but I have heard that.
I know. It was funny. I've wrote a couple songs that weren't, because all my songs pretty much, you know, they might be kind of sad, but they have a twist to where, you know, they're full of hope, and they're,
Right.
you know, they're pick me up songs. They're,
Sure.
you know, they're like, don't stay down long,
Right.
you know, whatever. Or they might start out that way and twist back around.
Right.
But I did write a song that'll be on this album called Your Hat, and I love it. It's so just easygoing, fun.
Oh, that's good.
You know, and I was like, see, guys, I can write a fun song.
Yeah. Kevin Bridges, you can write something that's not morbid or sad, believe it or not.
Yeah, believe it or not, there are, you know, are some fun songs, but yeah, I'm really excited about all that's getting ready to come. And
That's great. That's now, do you have like a tour to back this stuff up or something when it's coming out?
Well,
Or do you have a
it's
band?
getting ready to come up. All the details hadn't come together
Right.
yet. I do know that we have some dates in Texas.
Right.
We have some more in Tennessee. There's different places, even in Mississippi.
Right.
So we're getting all the dates together now
Right.
to put together.
Then you're going to
but-
put together a band and reherse them and then go out and do
and
it.
then
Is that
go
what you're gonna
out,
do?
yes. And I'll be most definitely be going out with Dale Houston. Like I said, he's doing his album, and we'll both do our shows, and then
Right.
we're actually working on a duet album.
Okay, that's
too.
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
So, and he's got the honky tonk Bakersfield type
Right.
sound, and I've got mine, and then we kind of come together and
Sure.
do a lot of songs. So it's going to be really cool. Kind of taking it back old school.
Yeah.
Back when Merle and Leona did, like
Sure.
they're separate, then
Yeah.
they come together. So I'm pretty
Right.
excited about that. But right now I've got several shows lined up at a place called the Donahoe Hotel, which is in Red Bull Springs, Tennessee. It's home of Ronnie McDowell.
Where is that at?
It is out in
I'm
the
sure
boonies,
it
but
is.
It's crazy, and everybody all over the world comes in there.
Oh, that's cool.
It was built in 1914, and it's a huge like plantation type big place, like a bed and breakfast.
Right.
I mean, they literally cook you breakfast, and they got the supper
pretty cool.
there, but you sit around the table with everybody. But then they have the Ronnie McDowell convenience center, and that's where everybody performs. And I just got through singing with T. Graham Brown a couple weeks ago, and then I did my Christmas show there.
Okay.
And then I opened for Ronnie McDowell at New Year's.
That's cool.
So I'm getting ready to go back this weekend and play Friday and Saturday, and then I use their band.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it's amazing because, like, those musicians, in Nashville, you just say
Sure you do.
Yeah, if it's standard, they're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they know.
They know. But they've been really good to me down there. So I'm super excited about continuing that friendship with them.
Right.
And then I would, I have played here locally at a place called the Dragonfly here in Shelby. I actually have my CD release party here.
Are you going to have a CD release party again?
I am. I'm going to have it, and it's going to be funny because I've got so many people in Nashville that I have become really, really close friends with. And, of course, I have my family and friends here.
Right.
So I'm going to do it two different ones.
I mean, that's kind of standard stuff. I mean, for your different audiences. I mean, that's
I have to do it in two different places, but I'm really excited. I think it's going to be really cool. It's going to be even bigger than the last CD release party because there's just been so much that's went into this. And like I said, the first single will be All That's Left. The second single will be the one that I've got. Like I said, I have Pam Tillis. She'll be singing with me on it. Leona Williams, Leroy Parnell. Is adding slide guitar. Ben Haggard's adding some more guitar. And I can't really disclose the last girl that's going to be singing on it with me because it's not being absolutely confirmed.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that
she's going to.
And she's pretty big in country music right now. So lots of just amazing, great things.
Well, it sounds like things are going really well for you.
Yeah. And I thank God for them because I know God literally has said, okay, all these years, this is,
that's good.
So I always give him all the glory. That's for sure.
I guess faith is big in your in your life. That's great. What else do we need to know, Lee?
Oh my gosh, I am one heck of a cook.
So what do you like to cook?
I love to cook Southern food. I love bacon biscuits and gravy, and I just love all the Southern dishes. I love to cook.
That's great.
Love to paint. But yeah, I love being a mom. I just love life.
That's good. I mean, life's a good thing to love.
Life. I have learned that life is way too short, and
it's way too short.
A lot of people laugh at me, but I take every moment. If I get a dance in the rain, or if I get to belt out a song in front of millions of people out there looking at me like I'm crazy, I'm going to do it because
life's full of small little treasures that it actually they mount up. And life is really more about the small victories or the small treasures as opposed to the really big ones.
You're exactly right.
It makes for a long, fun life as opposed to a couple of big moments. It's like if you live your life waiting for vacation, then you get 1 week a year.
Exactly.
And
that's my little boy. I mean, he was talking about the weekend and kept talking about, okay, when's the weekend?
Sure.
And I'm like, I keep telling him. And I just told them yesterday, I'm like, live in the moment.
Yeah,
Don't worry about the weekend. Live right now. Enjoy today.
Of course,
the weekend will
he
still
is going to school, which does take a lot out of your life. I mean, every boy in particular thinks that school is probably not even necessary. That's just a boy thing.
It is because they all know that they know it.
No, they know it all. Men know it all. They do. And
I did not say that by the record. You hear that on here.
I'll say it. Guys do think they know it all. Little boys, it starts as little boys. They think they know it all, and it never stops.
It goes from there. That is exactly right. But I'm super excited about maybe even trying to get some more things around here locally in Shelby, and in Rutherford County. I do a lot over there. I do this Strength of a Woman. I wrote it on my Undamaged album. I wrote a song called Strength of a Woman. And so this past year, I come up with a Strength of a Woman 5K race.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Which I had other musicians that helped me with everything, but all the proceeds went to domestic violence.
Oh, that's good.
That's something I really believe in and want to help them because they helped me at a really rough time. So that's something I'm very passionate about.
Right.
That song come from that, which this song it's crazy because this song has like went on to help so many other women and men. I get
great.
messages from men, and they're like, "Well, we just kind of changed the words to it."
Sure,
but,
I mean,
you know.
Yeah.
But it's been awesome, though. It's been a great journey. This
sounds like 2021 was actually a pretty good time for you.
It was amazing. 2020, you know.
It stunk for everybody.
Well, and it did, but at that time, you know, that's how I got back into singing, because I was sitting there in my living room singing to everybody already before the world shut down. So when the world shut down, all the other artists kind of come down on my level.
Sure.
Because they were like, I'm like, oh man, I've been playing in my living room to Facebook, you know, because that was my only way.
And that's what everybody did.
Yeah.
I mean,
so once I did that, you know, it's like it grew from there, and then it's like, okay, I got nominated for this award. Okay, well, I'm getting to do this, and then I thought my world had fell apart, but it just come together, and now.
Didn't I see somewhere you got a Josie or something?
I did. The first year I got vocalist of the year, and then this past year, which I was super excited about, I won EP album of the year, which of course, you know, as a songwriter, you know, it kind of like does everything. It validates it, because, you know, they're looking at the whole album and all the body of work. And oh my gosh, like I was just so excited about that.
That's good. That's really good.
Oh, and then Women of Country also had me in the top 20 for the best of 21 with the album Strength of a Woman. So
that's great.
I was like, yes, every time I turned around, it's like God's blessings was pouring down.
That's great. I mean, you know.
But, you know, it takes, I've noticed this throughout, you know, these couple years, like I said, you know, I was talking to you earlier, I don't have a manager, I don't have a label, I'm independent, you know, and I do everything on my own.
Right.
But, you know, I couldn't do it on my own if it wasn't for all the different people that have played different roles and different events that's happened that made this other event happen or this. So, you know, I always think everybody, even down to the people who even just like it or share my stuff, you know, that's people who stand behind you and support you.
Well, it takes a community to make music happen. I mean, you have to have venue owners, you have to have people to listen, people to play your stuff. I mean, it's not as simple as, hey, I'm a musician and I got these really good songs, because if no one's listening, you have nothing.
Exactly.
I mean,
and I, you know, and like I was talking about earlier, you know, social media has been just huge for me. You know, and a lot of musicians, you know, to utilize that to get. I
think it's the new way. I think you have to do that.
It is.
I think you fall behind if you choose not to use that.
Exactly. And plus, you know, not only do you give, you know, your audience your music, and you get to give them acoustic stuff, and you get to give them different stuff, but you get to let them be a part of your life. And I'm very big on that.
Right.
People know, and
they can see the growth actually and stuff.
They can.
Too,
they have seen it, you know, they've seen it from the beginning. They've went with me through these last several years, just in this journey that I'm in now.
Right.
And they're so supportive, and they, you know, and I share my life with them. I share my little boy with them. I share everywhere I get to go, and if I get asked to go do something on the show, I bring them along with me.
Right.
You know, I do live things where they can see, and it's just been amazing. Like this whole last year has been super awesome, and I'm hoping that this year is going to be just the same.
Well, it's looking like the plans. It looks like the plans are laid for a good 2022.
I think so.
That's great. I mean, your attitude is good. You're believing in what you're doing, so you know, I think success is there for the taking for you. You know.
No, well, you know, and I was talking earlier, you know, I've got it in my bloodline, you know, dated way back. It was, you know, talking about Jimmy Rogers being the father of country music.
Right.
You know, found out through looking at different articles and stuff that one of my ancestors, which is Otis Kirkendall, which is my maiden name, is Kirkendall.
Right.
We traced it back, and I'm akin to him, and he actually did live shows with Jimmy Rogers.
See, that's pretty cool.
And it was on the you have to help me on this.
I think it's NCC on that
Yes,
one.
and the one in Asheville.
Yes, it's the one in Asheville.
They actually did like live recordings,
Right.
and live shows before Jimmy Rogers went. So I thought that was so cool to be traced back.
Oh, it is. I guess it is in your blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood.
There you go. So it's well, I know you're a busy person, so I appreciate you taking the time to come and do this.
Thank you for having me, Sandy. And
You're welcome.
I can't wait for future ones that we could talk
Sure.
about what else happened.
Sure, you'll come back and we'll redo this.
We'll bring Mickey here the next time. We'll just have a party. We'll have all of us.
Yeah, we'll bring Mickey. That's Mickey Hayes.
Yes.
In case you're wondering, you can find Mickey's podcast.
Mickey is awesome.
Mickey is awesome. Yeah, Mickey has some stories. Make my stories look, Mickey has some stories. Lee, I appreciate you coming and doing this.
Thank you so much, Sandy.
Thank you.
You're gonna learn. You're gonna find out someday. You're gonna push me too far, and I'm gonna walk away. I tried and I tried. Put up with your cheating.